And the meeting was called to order at what time?
Okay, we're officially calling the meeting to order at 10:05. Got that, Stacy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll take a minute here to review the agenda. It's on the screen that's before you. Did everybody have time to review the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Angela, you know you're on mute right now, and Stacy, I guess everybody. Okay, well, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the general membership agenda.
Brother President, I make that motion.
This is Velma, and I'll
Okay.
second.
The motion was moved by Pastor Banks,
Second
second
by
by
Velma.
Velma. Discussions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Any extensions? Motion carried.
So I just have one question that was moved by Pastor Banks and second by,
Velma,
okay.
okay, if you will put the minutes, bring the minutes up, Angela. And we'll turn it over to Stacy.
Okay, if you can hear me, these are the minutes for general membership meeting minutes, Saturday, May 14th, 2022. Called to order, the meeting was called to order at 10:08 a.m. Approval of agenda, Ardell Harrison moved to approve the agenda as presented. Velma Sykes second the motion, motion passed. Reading and approval of minutes, Ardell Harrison moved to approve the agenda as presented. Angelina Veal second the motion, motion passed. Correction, with the correction of Wally Manual Forum, May 11, 2022 at 6 p.m. Membership report, the February membership report was tabled into June. March 2022, 11 new memberships, 2 youths. April was 2022, 13 new memberships, 3 youth. May membership is starting out well. We have 13 members so far. Treasury report, the treasurer's report was presented to the executive committee. All bills are paid. For more information, contact the treasurer, Daphne Gauthier, at daphne@gmail.com/assistant treasurer Shirley Brown at followbrownw@aol.com. Action items. We had one for $2,300 for HUD project, including $550 for blast. That's for 2 times 2 with Sac Cultural Hub. Rent $500 for 2 months. Refreshments $200 and coming out of the general fund. We received a grant from HUD for outreaching for the community for home buying for February through May. We performed counseling forums and one-on-ones for this project. Velma Sykes motion that we accept the motion to accept the proposed budget of $2,300 as presented. Ardell Harrison second the motion, and the motion passed. Well, office supplies reimbursement, $1,389.95 and $413.90 out of the general fund. This reimbursement was for purposes to reimburse Lorraine Moore and Mika Coleman for office supplies and a total of $1389.95 and $413.90 from the general fund. Bill Sites moved to accept the reimbursement as presented. Angelina Veal seconded the motion. The motion passed. Budget for WIN, May 9th event. There were secure funds of $5,000 from the city of Sacramento, one of the sponsors, was one of the sponsors to have an award reception. This was our annual Women in Leadership Award ceremony. We need to write a report for what happened at that event. Ardell Harrison moved to accept the budget of $2,500 for the WIN Award reception. Angelina Veal seconded the motion. The motion passed. Dr. Shirley Weber was recognized for her work in the elections process. Lynette Hall, the community engagement manager of the city of Sacramento, was also recognized for her work in ensuring information and resources were distributed to communities. There was a lot of participants and a lot of great networking. WIN was highlighted in the city's newsletter this week. Velma and Betty noted the passionate speeches of Shirley Weber and Lynette Hall. President's report, Betty Williams. SEIU approval was presented to the executive committee. We will not be taking a position on this. This approval is pending a recommendation from the health committee. Resolution. Lynn's resolution made it to the resolution meeting. However, it was sent back to the political action committee for revision. One resolution was sent back, one resolution centered on tribal, no gaming. This resolution was tabled again. Downtown shooting, we want to define the narrative, and we did. The entire narrative has changed. The media has stopped using the word mask. Congratulations on changing the narrative. The Burgess, two brothers who are firefighters in the restaurant business, have reached out to the NAACP that the Sac NAACP may owe them. Wait, you went up too far. You got to come down. Okay, right there. Two brothers who are firefighters in the restaurant business have reached out to the NAACP that the SAC NAACP may owe them money. There is a potential lawsuit that may arise. This is based on 1961 property claim from their grandfather. At that time, the SAC branch of the NAACP had a credit union to help people get homes. The branch helped the family get funding. The actual document did not say anything about that family. The brothers are stating that the local NAACP branch took advantage of their grandparents and stole their property. They will clearly, the will clearly doesn't state that. So the Burgess brothers are disappointed with the Dining To program. They feel the program should have went through them. Betty noted that they were never at the table. May 11, 2022 forum. Betty highlighted the Wally Manual forum that occurred on May 11th. Betty gave kudos to Ardell Harrison and Kim Nelson for supporting her with Sheriff Jim Barnes. Betty reminded everyone to encourage 5 or 10 people to vote on June 7th. You have up to 28 days before the election to vote or drop. Okay, where we go? Here we go. To vote or drop the ballot off. To vote in person, you can go anywhere in the county 10 days before the election. You can register to vote and vote on the same day. If you're an ex-felon, you can vote if all of the requirements have been made. You can also vote if you are in jail. Unfinished business, advocating for Black restaurants in Sacramento. We are doing an excellent job with Dine-In 2 program. There was a deadline for registration for those with food insecurity to get food by April 30th. We are looking at reopening the registration every 90 days. Food desert is refined as if there is not a supermarket or place to get quality food, fresh fruits, etc. in your neighborhood. You will be eligible for the program. The restaurants are caterers who would deliver hot food to your home. This includes hot meals from local restaurants. This will be 3 meals per person in household. Black restaurants deadline to register is May 15th to be on the list to qualify, where the county will pay the NAACP to pay them to be part of the program. We have had over 1,000 people register by April 30th. We are pulling statistics to see where the most need seems to be. South Sac and the Heights, Del Paso Heights are in the Heights. I'm not I think Del Paso Heights, are the largest reporting. We can get data on the family, how many in the household, income level, etc. Phase 2 is trying to get farmers markets in the areas to get the community's fresh fruits and vegetables in their homes. Velma commended the NAACP on this program. Ardell asked this program for the city or county. Everyone in the county is eligible. Anyone in the county of Sacramento can apply. Velma asked if there is a press release that we can send to the community about this program. Betty and Velma will work on this. Wanda Clark's donation campaign. This is an ongoing campaign. Ardell got an update. The property has been transferred back to Wanda Clark's name. They are moving forward. Ardell is requesting to be in the loop on this campaign. Closeout of 105th anniversary. We're still pending on one more proof of payment before we can close out the 105th anniversary. Forum, the DA, the assembly race. Wiley Manuel, May 11th, 6:30 p.m. at the McGeorge Law School in Oak Park. Burbank event with National Council of Negro Women and SAC NAACP is pending. We will have to wait until June to have the forum until after the primary. We'll be having a forum after that. New business, advertising sponsorship level flyer, where you can advertise down through SAC NAACP. New funding for COVID project with Neighborhood Partnership Program. Announcements, R&B Festival, Saturday, September 3rd, 2022 at Southside Park from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We have a preliminary Eventbrite for tickets at $20. In one more week, Betty will be starting the R&B Festival meetings. A couple of headliners, bands, and vendors have already reached out to Betty. We may have our lineup established soon. We changed locations. Locations are filling up fast. Betty thanked Angelina for following up with the paperwork to secure the location. Legal redress expungement meetings are every third Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. There is a link that will be put in the chat for sign up. This is done every third Saturday by Zoom. Whether you are a member of the NAACP or not, you can participate. You can participate in legal redress regardless of the member status. Legal redress covers all issues, education, housing, employment, etc. Participants will have access to the attorneys for free. We have a number of attorneys that have signed up to participate. The Public Defender's Office has offered all their attorneys to participate in this. We also have attorneys that focus on expungement. Lynn, Ardell, and Betty work with local DA to get the court fees waived for expungement fees. Go to the NAACP website, click on complaint, and fill out the form to register your complaint and participate with these free attorneys. Complaints will be added to the legal redress clinic so an attorney can look at it. SAC NAACP volunteer sign-up form. Please put that form will also be in the chat. If you know of anyone who would like to volunteer with the Sacramento branch of the NAACP, go to the NAACP, complete the sign-up form, and that form will be in the chat. The Open Air Jazz Festival. The Open Air Jazz Festival being put on by the California Black Chamber of Commerce today at 11 a.m. through 6 p.m. at Cesar Chavez Park. The SAC NAACP has a booth there. The festival is free. County elections, Alex Joe. Alex Joe is the candidate for the Supervisor District 5 in Sacramento County. Alex reminded us that the elections on June 7th. This Tuesday, May 17th, 2022, there is a candidate forum on transportation conversations about the transportation, rail, bicycle, housing in Sacramento County. The candidate forum with the Sacramento County Supervisor District 5 candidates at 6 p.m. via Facebook and Zoom. You can find more information about this forum under SMART. Become a member of the NAACP. Anyone with questions can join us through our website. If anyone is an NAACP member and is not receiving the newsletter, please let us know. Call me, Stacy, 916-289-2539, or email me at stacy.anderson@blueshieldca.com. And then adjournment. The meeting was adjourned at 11:12 a.m. And that is the notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy, for doing such a wonderful job on reading. It was excellent. With that being said, I entertain a motion that the minutes be approved as presented.
Chris
I'd like to
Jones,
make a
here.
motion. This is Larry Harris. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Larry Harris,
Seconded by Chris Jones.
second by Chris Jones. Discussions.
First Vice President, we have
All
Lynn.
in favor? Oh, Lynn?
Lynn has her hand
Yes,
up.
Lynn.
Hi there. I just want to make
acknowledged.
thank you so much, Chair. I would just like to point out that there were several typos, and Stacy did a great job speaking them, but the way they're written are not necessarily spelled correctly. There were some words in there that I think one was, Stacy, I think one was meal. There were just several typos. I think that if we could go back and if we could qualify our vote and say with the changes, the typo changes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I will requalify that statement that we accept the minutes with all found typo errors in the minute reading.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Seconded if we
got
still
a
need it.
second on that?
Seconded, Chris here.
Okay. Chris Jones, seconded. Okay. Discussions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
I
Opposed? Extensions? Motion carried. All right, thank you for that. The treasurer's report. Is Daphne, is she online to comment on her report? If not,
First Vice
we'll
President,
just-
you skipped the membership.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to item 4, membership report. Angelina, please go
Yeah.
forward.
Okay, so for February, there were 6 members. For March, there were 11 new members, 9 being adults, 2 being youth. For April, there were 15, 11 are adults and 4 are youth. And then for May, there were 22 total with 17 adults and 5 youth. And for the beginning of June, we have 5 already.
Okay. Great, great. With that being said, I entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the membership report from Angelique Veal as read. This is Larry Harris.
Thank you. It was moved by Larry Harris,
Seconded, Chris.
second by Chris Jones. Thank you, Chris, for seconding that. Discussions. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Great, moving along pretty well here. Okay, Stacey, what do we have on the, Angelina, what do we have on the treasurer's report?
First of all, is anyone here from the treasurers?
Yeah, Shirley Brown's here, and just to note that the Greater Sacramento NAACP branch has all their bills paid. That's what
Right.
that you need to just know for this general meeting here. We won't discuss the
Oh, okay, okay. And
Or-
also, if anyone, we just don't totally display the treasurer's report, but if you do want a copy of it, you can contact Daphne. I don't know if you could put her email in the chat box, but they can reach out to get a hard copy or a electronic copy of the treasurer's report. Okay, with that being said, I entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
well, of course, then Shirley Brown approves it.
So.
I seconded Larry
Brown
Harris.
moves it. Okay, Larry Harris,
Seconded the motion.
second, Larry Harrison. Any discussions on the treasurer's report? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. I also just seen it might be in the chat now, Daphne, I think she just put her email in the chat there for anyone who wants to get a copy of that. It's Daphne, NAACP 2019 @gmail.com. Thank you, Daphne. Okay, we're gonna move along. We have a lot of action items that need to be approved. The first action items is the approval of 8 delegates for the National NAACP Convention. And these are the delegates that are listed. We put that up there so everybody can see: Betty Williams, Ardell Harrison, Velma Sykes, Ken Nelson, Lorraine Moore, Angelina Beal, Mika Coleman, and Dr. Nate White. So I'm entertaining a motion for the approval of the 8 delegates.
This is Stacy. I move the motion to approve the delegates for the.
Oh, yeah, we like that. We eat those. We know. Breakfast.
Velma? Okay, great. So this is Stacy. I move that motion to approve for the 8 delegates.
Okay,
Second the motion,
it
this
was
is
moved
Lynn.
by Stacy Anderson.
I did not, man.
Lynn,
have
second
a
the
second?
motion. Lynn Berkeley Baskin,
Okay,
second.
Lynn, seconded. Discussions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Extensions? Motion carried for the 8 delegates for the National NAACP Convention. All right, let's move to action item number 2. Approve the registration for the 8 delegates for the National NAACP Convention. So with that being said, I entertain a motion for the approval of registration fees for the 8 delegates for the National Convention. Can I get someone to move that?
Stacy, I move that motion to approve the registration for the 8 delegates.
It was
I
moved by
second the
Stacy.
motion.
It was seconded by Pastor Alice Banks. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Very good. The third action item for today. Let's see, let me see if I can move my. You guys are blocking my. Approval up to $3,000 for travel expenses for the branch president to attend the national convention. So with that being said, I entertain a motion for the approval up to $3,000 for the travel expense for the branch president to attend the national convention. Can I get someone to move that motion?
This
So
is Stacy.
moved. Oh,
Go
excuse
ahead.
me.
It was moved by Lynn.
Second by Pastor Banks.
Get someone to second by Pastor Banks for the approval of the expenses. Discussion.
Yeah, I have a question. Chris Jones here. I'm just looking ahead. So why
Yes,
is it
Chris?
3,000 for the branch president and then 3,000 for 2 youth? Like, shouldn't it in theory be like half that since it's only one person?
No, it doesn't. But we'll
I'm
get
just
to
asking the
that on
question.
the
So
floor.
whatever the answer is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, how did we get to?
I can help answer that if you'd like, Ardell. There's a lot of activities that the president has to attend at the convention that cost a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Whereas our AXO, they have a program that begins before the adult program, and most of their activities are not cost prohibitive.
Okay, well, that's the answer then. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, we'll move to the fourth one, but I just want to elaborate a little bit. I don't know if it was totally answered, Chris, but these are two separate action items. One is for the president and then one is for the youth. So I don't know if that's where you were trying to ask that question.
Yeah. The question was like, why is it $3,000 for the branch president when it costs us the same $3,000 to send 2 youth? The answer I got was that the president has to attend a lot of separate events that have admission fees, which makes sense. So I accept that.
Very good. Thank you for clarifying that for us, Velma. Okay, we're going to move to action item number 4, the approval of up to $3,000 for 2 youth for travel expenses and to attend the national convention. So with that being said, Jay Lee Baker and James are going to be our youth that will be traveling. I entertain a motion to approve up to $3,000 for the 2 youth to travel and the expenses to attend the national convention. I get somebody
I'd like
to
to
move
make-
that motion.
This is Velma, and I would like to move that we approve the expenses for our youth to travel to the national convention.
I
It was
second
moved
that.
by Velma Sykes.
This is Larry Harris. I second that.
Okay, it was second by Larry Harris.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any extensions? Motion carried. Okay, we're moving to action item number 5. To approve $500 for California-wide national state assessment. Normally, it costs us probably around $2,000 for that. That also includes travel, hotel, and everything else. And because of everything that we have going on, we've elected just to pay the minimum, which is $500. So can somebody mute your background? I'm picking up some feedback in the background. But I'm entertaining action item number 5 for the California-wide national NAACP state assessment to $500. I get someone to move that motion.
This is Stacy. I move the motion for the
It was
approval.
moved by Stacy.
Mhm.
I need a second.
And I second it.
Okay, Angelita. Okay, it was second by Angelita. Discussion?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What is that? This is Larry Harris. What is that? What is Cal High state assessment? What? I'm not clear on what that is.
Can I answer that?
Yes, thank you.
Or can you? I mean,
Velma?
I can answer that if you'd like. So annually,
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Annually, each branch is assessed an assessment by the state based on your membership. And this is our annual assessment that we are charged to pay every year. So we're asking for your support in getting this approved. to pay the $500 that we have to pay to California, Hawaii is what the CAHI stands for, California, Hawaii State NAACP. Annual assessment is what we're asking approval for.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposition? Abstentions? Motion carried. We have the next action item. Do you guys have the budget to display? If not, I'll just
Yes, we
move
do.
forward on it. Okay. Thank you, Angelina.
It's up first, Mr. President. I see that.
Okay. This right here is our budget that we put together for the executive committee. We're gonna have a real good time. We got some good headliners. Angelina, did you want to go over this, or you just want me to breeze through it, or just have everybody?
I think it's good if everybody could just view it. I believe we have all the
Okay.
totals there.
Okay. I'm proud to say each of our festivals become larger and larger, and we're getting better at this, and it's really put a feather in the NAACP's cap as far as what we're doing. Our headliners this year is going to be Blue Magic. You ever heard of them? You know, and then you got the Delphonics. So you really want to come out for some old school R&B. I think it's going to be good. I'm hoping that the weather holds well, that we're not in, 105 degrees, 110 degrees like we were one year. But last year was pretty good. It wasn't too hot. But we have another location which you can actually control the crowd better. And I think it's going to be a real good event here. So with that being said, I'm entertaining a motion to approve the R&B Festival's budget. Can I get someone to move that motion?
Yes, can we ask a question first, or do we need to make the motion?
Well, yeah, no, discussions are coming up after it's second.
Okay, it's Larry Harris. I'd like to make the motion that we accept the budget as presented and approve the budget.
Okay,
This is Angelina. I second it.
got a second. Okay. Discussions. Go ahead, Larry.
Well, I guess my first question is, how long are the $20 tickets going to, the early bird people, how long can they, what's the date, the cutoff date that you can't get the early bird?
July 1st.
Okay, so we still got time. And are we getting the brochures out, different locations already? Are we already, like at Underground Books or at the African Market or different places? Did we budget for that advertising, and are we starting to do that?
On the budget, let's see, there's the print and design right there for them.
Okay. So that would include handouts as well, right?
Correct. You're talking about the flyers.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, Larry, some of the flyers are digital now. I think they're with the QR code. So, and also I'll save a few handouts for you for your street team. I know you're always excited about getting out there and making contact with the public.
Yeah, I certainly hope to give some out. There's a lot of events, and if people show up at events, way we've done in the past is we'll hand out, our event, let them know what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, we want them out.
All right. Any other discussion? on that before
Ardell,
all in favor, say aye.
I have a question.
Okay,
This is
Lynn,
Lynn. I just wanted to make sure that going back to that, it's kind of a similar question. Does that also include signage? So is all that printing and everything, including signage too?
Yes, it does, Lynn.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
good question, Lynn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carried. R&B Festival budget. All right. Item number 7. The approval reception for the Greater Sacramento League CEO, Dwayne Crenshaw. I don't know if you guys had a chance to meet him, but he's the new CEO for the Urban League. Is the wonderful guy, an attorney. He's pretty sharp here. So I'm entertaining. Can you flip back? Or
Did you want to share? Did you want me to show that budget or?
yes, yeah, sure. You have it there? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I'm confused as to why we're here on this budget.
Would you like me to remove it, Vice President?
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit more, Belma?
I'm just wondering why we're on this budget, because this event has passed.
Well, it has passed, but the general membership, we're making ratifying. This is what the executive committee approved.
I was just asking.
So
Thank you.
with that being said, sure, thank you. I entertain a motion that the approval for the reception for Dwayne Crenshaw be approved. I get someone to move that motion.
This is Stacy. I move that motion.
This is Angelina. I second.
Moved by Stacy, second by Angelina. Discussions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Any extensions? Motion carried. Is Ken online?
I don't see him online.
Okay.
Online.
I wanted him to just speak on the no tax on the plastic bottles. We've already approved it, but I just wanted him to elaborate a little bit more. So anyway, with that being support, I entertain a motion support no tax on plastic bottles.
And
I get someone to move that motion.
President Ardell,
Yes.
what he was stating and what the support was for is that for the no tax on plastic bottles is that they are getting ready to raise the taxes, and basically they have not done what they said they were going to do regarding the previous taxes on these plastic bottles, and so that it is impacting the community and those that are working and you know, having a hard time already with the prices going up. So this rise in taxes on these plastic bottles when they haven't done what they stated they were going to do in the past, we are in support to say no tax on plastic bottles.
Great. Stacey, that's what I understood from Ken, but I was going to let him elaborate on it. So with that being said, again, entertain a motion to
This is
no
Velma.
tax on plastic.
This is Velma, and I move that we support the NAACP's position on no tax for plastic bottles.
Okay, it's moved by Thelma.
And I'll second it. Stacy.
It was second by Stacy. Discussions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you guys for helping me get through the action item. The president's report, I don't have. I was gonna just kind of elaborate on what Betty has done and what she continues to do. She's always somewhere being representing the NAACP, from town hall meetings to hosting and co-hosting with the Georgia Law Schools. And we were, you know, just one of the things that we were dealing with the Greater Sacramento Forum at the, with our press release, we invited all the candidates to come over to the Georgia Law School and present their cases, you know. So we went there, and Chen Ho, he did not show up. He was running for Attorney General. And then Alana Matthews, she showed up, and she did wonderful. So it's a lot of stuff that Betty does. It's just constantly grind after grind after grind, you know. So I commend her for her efforts and everything that she does. She's taking a day off today. She has her family in town, and I figured we could carry on and keep things moving. So I'm really excited for what the things that Betty's doing, that she continues to do. She is a reason that we are at the Dine In program. I mean, everybody's jumping on board from the efforts of the NAACP. And again, without her, we wouldn't be where we are today. So again, I give kudos to Betty for that, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me. Okay, let's as we move into the unfinished business, the Dine-In to Advocate for Black Restaurants. It's a 15-month program, and this is one of the things that I was talking about. She got us to the table, and now we're processing all the paperwork. It's a good opportunity for the businesses. It's also a good opportunity for the community to receive those meals, because they're talking 3 meals per qualified person a day. And so benefit, the community benefits, the restaurants benefit in it. And it's, you know, it all stems back to being able to holding the county accountable for monies that they gave to the other restaurants during the pandemic. So again, efforts that we've all put together, mainly Betty getting us to the table and working on it. Okay, on the clock's donation campaign. I don't know if we have a number right now of how much has been donated. Does anybody have a number on the amount of money for the campaign? No? Okay, well, just to give you an update of Wanda Clark, the ones who do know what the situation was, she had a piece of property. She had a contractor passed away. She got a housing case on it, then she got another housing case on it, then it went into receivership. They were about to take it. We all got involved, Habitat for Humanity, a couple of other organizations, and we lobbied around her. So the bottom line is that she does control the property now, and now we're trying to rebuild her house. So that's one of the donations. So if you want to donate, just go to the NAACP.com, and there's a campaign donation button for us to continue to donate for her. I'll keep you guys updated as I find out more about the building permits and what other all contractors are going to be involved. Okay, again, unfinished business to close out of the 105th anniversary. From what I understand, that is completely closed out now. We did receive the last check on that. So correct me if I'm wrong, safety analyst, but the 105th anniversary is correct.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, thank you. R&B Festival, attendance, early bird special, again, it's right there, July 1st. And then after that, it's $40. Non-vendors, early bird special is $75 until July 1st, then it's $150. So encourage them to come out, hot food, cold food, and just be part of it, because we're getting more and more people each year. New business, Sacramento Juneteenth Festival, vendor application is now available. Again, we've already stated about no taxes on the plastic bottle, and increased forms for the election year and recommendations for the November ballot. So, like I say, everybody knows how important it is that we need to vote and keep everything going. Do you want to do the announcement, Stacy?
Sure. So I just want to back up to the Sacramento Juneteenth Festival. There's many that are going on. Sac NAACP is actually, will have a booth at the one Sacramento Juneteenth Festival. It's 2022 Sacramento Juneteenth. It's going to be June 18th at William Land Park. So that vendor application means I already did the application for Sac NAACP to attend. So Larry, FYI, and then going on to the announcements, legal redress. Expungement meetings are every third Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. There is a link to sign up, which is the correct one is put in the chat. And Lynn so nicely let me know the one we had was incorrect. So that sign up, all you have to do is go to the www.naacpsac.com to sign up. But I also put a link in the chat to go directly to it so that you can sign up. And again, you do not have to be an NAACP member to attend. The second announcement, Black Expo presents 28th Annual Holiday Unity Festival. And that's a different festival than the one I just stated. So this one will be Friday, June 17th, 2022, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the District 56 Center at 8230 Civic Center Drive. Now, the first one at William Land Park is Gary Simon. The second one over here is from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. is Rick Warren. So the third announcement, Sac NAACP volunteer sign up. So we want anyone and everyone that find themselves interested or want to help or be a part of any of the NAACP events, please feel free to volunteer and sign up in that sign up form, or you can contact the office, or you can contact me at 916-289-2539. And those are the announcements.
Thank you, Stacy, for those announcements. And we have something coming up. You guys have the brochure for our mental health professional that's getting ready to come on next with Dr. Bianchi and Daphne.
Yes, we do.
Okay, yeah, let's we want you guys to stay and listen for the health professionals on what's going on with all of the health industry, the mental health, just so forth and so on. I'm encouraged almost to get back into mental health. I don't know. I hold credentials in mental health, and I might sit back again for the exam and start practicing. But I was saving it for when I got old, but I'm old now. Yeah, go ahead and put that on the screen and let everyone see what we got coming up here. We want you guys to most definitely stay around. We are airing on Facebook. Is that right now? Stacy, we're on Facebook recording, right?
No, we're not today.
Oh, okay. Larry, I see you got your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Stacy about the Juneteenth thing. You said you mentioned two, one in William Land and another one at a different address, held by two different people. But there's one also out at Elk Grove. So we don't have that same group. Don't have anything to do with Elk Grove, huh?
Yeah, that one that I stated from 3 to 8, that is the Elk Grove.
Oh, that is so.
56. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Angelina, are you there to show, or do I, the town hall conversation?
You're talking about the Buffalo one, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. Ardell, were you going to speak on that?
Well, yes, I was just trying to see what we had. We have Daphne from Mindset Counseling here, who's going to be a speaker. I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to her, and then she can kind of elaborate what direction she wants to take us in. Daphne, if you'll take it.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I just want to say, I just wanted to spend this time with you guys to talk about some of the things that's affecting us in our own community. I'm here with another therapist, Thomas Trujillo, who's also a therapist. And we just wanted to kind of, have a conversation about the different things that have been affecting us as a community. The Buffalo shooting was one of the latest, but we've had things prior to that. We had the George Floyd, we had the Breonna Taylor, we had all these different things that we're seeing. And what we have found that's happening in our own communities is now people are being affected here, just locally. I'm seeing clients, Thomas is seeing clients of our own race where they can't take it. They're having anxiety, they're getting depressed. And many times we don't realize how we're being affected. And what's happening with our community is what we call post-traumatic stress disorder. And you don't have to be initially involved to feel the stress. You don't have to be initially involved to have anxiety. But there are people there that are talking about how their anxiety has heightened. They start to worry a lot. They get depressed. They don't want to go out. They're in fear. And so just even though this happened in New York, because we're seeing it on television, doesn't mean we're not affected. So we just wanted to kind of take some time and see if there's people that are experiencing the same type of thing and kind of talk about it. And I'm going to let Thomas kind of share a little bit from his end as well.
Good morning, everyone. As Ms. Daphne initiated the conversation daily, I think it's proper for us to kind of reflect on ourselves and what I call the 3 Ps in preparation, planning, and prevention. We notice all affects us all, our families, our conversations, our employment, our daily lives. And we're noticing that through the stress, anger, anxiety, and depression, we have to look at these levels daily and just kind of reflect and evaluate. And so we just want to chime in. We've noticed that clients coming in, this is the first thing they want to relate to. And even though that it is in Buffalo, it is in the South, the Midwest, California. It's getting closer to home. And how do we deal with this? And I think that now is the time for us as professionals in the mental health field to reach out and see what else we can do as well, right? So those who are not making it to a session or signing up for therapy, right? So now is not us to connect back with the community to make sure we're doing our due diligence as well, connecting with organizations as the NAACP in all regions through California and connecting throughout the states as well. So this is check in to make sure that we can get information and the resources to individuals that are struggling. As summer's coming up, individuals and our adolescents graduating, getting ready to go to college, those are going to continue with high school. That resources are available through summer as well. And that ongoing conversations of just anxiety, depression, and notifying or self-monitoring system symptoms as well too. So yeah, we're here to answer any general questions and just see what general conversations has the NAACP been having as well, with other community organizations or facilities, and seeing any way we can help or to offer information today.
And I see Larry, your hand is up. You're on mute. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You're on
Oh, I'm
mute.
sorry. Okay, I'm on mute. I'm sorry, I'm muted now. Yeah, I was just saying you can't help but be affected by all that we see on TV and the January 6th event that happened with the insurrection, and it all deals with racism, white supremacy, power, and so there's some real issues going on in guns that anybody can get at any cost. So I'm saying, that's kind of the foundation of how the NAACP got formed. And I think, we just have to reach out more as people, as Black people, Jews, white people, because the foundation of NAACP was not just Black people. It was really a lot of white advocates that were helped to form the NAACP. And so I think we need to educate more people in that. And then we get more people to realize, yeah, we advocate for Black rights and justice, but we advocate for justice for everyone, and including Black people. And so I think we need to educate more people on how NAACP got formed, on every form that we can, and have a discussion, not with just people in Sacramento, but throughout the whole nation, because we can't live in fear, for one thing. And I think discussing issues help people to have a better mental state. And so I think we need to start having a lively discussion and about guns for sure, and about their voting, because if people don't vote, you're not going to change anything. We see a real push, a real hard push from the Republicans. I'll just call the whole party out, that don't want everybody to vote, and they want to put guns in everybody's hands, particularly in the South, and as if they're getting ready for a civil war. And so I think it's very important that we have nationwide discussion on this, and NAACP can kind of lead that discussion, and we need to talk about our own safety and having more gun controls. For one thing, we start there, and people have to vote to get leadership in that's going to lead the right way, not to try to break democracy even more. Because if they break democracy, that's really frightening to think about what kind of governance will we have then. Will we become an autocracy, a fascist state? And I think that's certainly what Trump was trying to do. So that's what I have to say about mental health. We got to discuss it more and not run from it, because it's right in front of our face.
Thank you, Larry. That you brought up some really good points, and you're right. Voting is really important, and talking about it is really important. The other thing I think is that we don't talk about it enough, and we internalize and we keep it in. And I don't think people realize when you do that you shorten your lifespan, and that's the other part. Is shortening your lifespan, and we tend to try to live in a norm that's not normal. Being targeted is not normal. you know, and when we live this way, what happens is down the road, we shorten our lifespan with anxiety, and some people just can't take it anymore and they get depressed and they end their life because they don't want to do it anymore. So I'm curious to know, others out there, what are you guys hearing or what's going on? What's in your community you're talking about?
Hi, Daphne. Can you see my hand raised?
I do now. Yes.
Okay. This is Stacy, and right now in the community that I'm working with, the big push is to come together, just piggybacking off of what Larry said, come together with all of a unified messaging and target towards all cultures right now to restore the health and education of our youth and young adults, because those are the generations that are coming up to precede us. And so it is a push to be able to have resources and to be able to talk and to be able to encourage and to push our young adults to, you know, to the professionals that they're going to be. And so I think sometimes we try to think we know what they need without asking them what they need. And so that is something that we are getting ready to do on an event July 9th to bring back hope, love, and healing, and with the concert. So we are looking for resources that redefines or reimagine how to encourage our youth and young adults to be all that they can be, and to provide them with the services that they think that they know that they need, and wondering how to do that for their mental and physical well-being, because those are our leaders that are coming up. So a lot of things are happening. And then another disturbing thing for me was learning that the WHO, the health organization, went to go take the sovereignty from United States and I think about 90 other countries, so that they can control what happens as they deem fit in terms of wellness and in terms of like COVID and anything that else that comes, that they take that authoritative right to force people to do what they deem necessary. And I find that very frightening as well.
Thank you. Just out of curiosity, what for the youth and the healing, what is your guys' plan there?
So the plan there is to bring, at this particular event, is to bring resources there so that all of these resources can collaborate, and then there will be a part there that asks, what does the youth, trying to get as many youth as we can get there so that they can tell us, they can be a part of the decision planning, and just to tell us what they need. So pretty much that event is just going to be a fun event. It's going to be jumpers, it's going to be everything, and then it's going to end 4 to 6 will be the resource center, and us collaborating and getting information what the youth need is while they're having fun and eating. And then at 6 o'clock, it'll be a concert from the Katinas.
Oh, okay, nice. I'm curious to ask the people on this panel, do you guys believe that mental health is a problem in the African-American community?
Yeah, if I could speak again, Larry Harris. Of course, I think it is. Yeah, mental health is important to everybody. But I think we're hit with a lot of things now. We have climate change. People are passing out. We have homelessness all over the nation. Food shortages. Now we got gas problem. Or probably accentuated by the war in Ukraine and gas companies just being greedy, probably. And so that's stressful. That's a lot of stress. Then we have social issues, they want to break the United States government, by not acknowledging who wins races. It's just cry foul. And all that, when you see all this stuff happening in front of you, and the leader, people are supposed to be leading you, not really leading, I'm talking about the past president, then this is very stressful when you don't have representation. So, like I say, this all the more reason why I think the religious organization, maybe Pastor Bates can speak on that, should be having a louder voice. I think they have large congregations, or they have congregations. And if they could just team up with the NAACP and also ask their membership to speak out across the nation and to, try to get better representation and get stronger laws in to protect people from guns. So I think that the religious organization would do a lot of work here to help.
Thank you, Larry. I see Lynn's hand is up.
Larry, I always love hearing your comments, and I agree. Daphne and Thomas, I work with about, not on a daily basis, but I run a program for criminalized and traumatized youth, most of whom are Black or Brown. And one of the things that I'm hearing from them all the time is that, and just so you know, almost all of them carry a weapon. Almost all of them have a gun, and none of them are legal. And so, but they all tell me they do it because they're afraid. It's not because they have any intention of using that gun, but they are afraid in all of their life happenings. And so I'm wondering, do you have any recommendations for those of us who work with our youth? So, I mean, obviously we have trauma-informed caregivers. We work with UC Davis Trauma Center. So it's not like we don't have one-on-ones for them and cognitive counseling for them, but it has more to do with those of us who are literally the peers in their lives, the mentors in their lives. Is there something specific that we should be looking for and then addressing in the moment? Or is there some kind of mantra that we should be saying over and over again that you would recommend, so that, I mean, Buffalo was a huge conversation over the past few weeks with our youth, and it's not the only one. And they don't really look at it as it just coming after them because of their race. It's like everything about them is a target to them. It's not just about their race, although that's included. It's where they live. It's if they don't join a gang. It's all kinds of things. So I would love to just hear your comments about recommendations for those of us who work with youth. Thanks so much.
And I can chime in for a second. I work with, juvenile hall corrections, and, been a mentor for a long time. And it does come up every day. Fear for your life, protection. And we notice is that the youth now are always in survival mode. And when the mind stays in survival mode, it can never be in a normality, as Ms. Daphne stated, right? The generalization of trauma through the generations, right? From slavery to now, our minds have never been free. So we try to get the freedom of mind, freedom of choice, and really dig down of why you are angry, why you are fearful, right? For each individual, we are unique, even though similarities of neighborhoods and where we are now and why we are feared or why we are fearful, and why do we need to protect ourselves? And I have twin boys, and they legally own guns. They do, and they'll be 25 next week. And so this is a regular conversation in my own household, and it's for the protection for themselves, just in case, right? So I don't own a gun. I never have. I've never even shot a gun, and because I've had conversations, and the willpower for myself is a lot different. So I think the mentorship is definitely building that rapport with a Black male, a brown male, a multicultural male being in the lives of these young men, especially to have these talks, and to really dig down to let them process their own feelings of why, right? So the TI, the trauma informed, CBT is definitely a benefit of type of therapy for them as well. Exposure to, positive community events and being able to talk about the Buffalo events. Why does it affect you? Why does it not affect you? Are you numb to it? Right. So we let them break it down and listen, and we let them build part of the curriculum. And it's teamwork. It's a collaborative effort. Is it something that's going to happen overnight? No, it's not. These conversations should be happening weekly, if not daily. There should be always options of all resources, and especially in that field of expertise, and getting these young men, these young women, brown, Black, multicultural from all over, to be able to discuss and have the option to do that. When we don't have the options or the resources, the fear will stay. One day it'll be processed, but there's other things, especially when you deal with trauma. It's never just one item or one activation that we're looking at when we are looking at, that specified population as well. But I think that having the options, building that mentor network is definitely needs to increase. We need more safety in our schools. We need more confidence in our law enforcement and the processes of juvenile hall and others entities that are associated with that. When I've served at the Solano Juvenile Correctional Center for over 10 years and had a curriculum there and many conversations with the population. And it took time. It took time. We saw the trauma. We saw the substance use and the trauma that was, affected with these individuals. And, it's a small percentage that will go, and maybe lead a normal life, if we can even define that. So I think the normality needs to be defined for these individuals and let them define it and what they need. I think we need to ask, what do you need? How can we help? Instead of us just using a book or a theory or modality to, that might be disapproved, but seeing what they need as well too. So I think more active listening, more reflective listening is definitely needed, and training for, all of us to be able to do that as well too, to give them the opportunity to speak and for us to listen as well.
Thank you so much. I see Stacy's hand, then I see Ardell, and then I see Larry. Stacy?
Yes, that was good information, Thomas, and went right back to what I stated, that that the youth and young adults need to tell us what they need, and because when Daphne, when you asked, do you think that, what your question, what was your question that you?
Do you think that we need mental health in the African American community?
Yeah, mental health is so important, and I think that we don't understand. I think mental health really wasn't discussed with us. We weren't going to see counselors or seeking any type of help. We just, I'm good, I'm all right, right? But yet we're dealing with a pandemic. We're dealing with racism at its peak since, from what I can see. I mean, there's always been encounters, but boy, it seems like it has boosted. And then we're dealing with health equities and disparities, and we're dealing with biases, right? And we're dealing with broken families. And we're dealing with the rest of the things that we were already dealing with, but now you have these heightened, and it seems like everyone is so bold with it. And now you're having these mass shootings. What concerns me as the two of those mass shootings were by 18-year-olds. How does an 18-year-old, how does those babies become that? I want to say, I was trying to find another word than messed up, but how does something, what gets in their head to pull off something, those two heinous crimes, right? And so, yeah, that was just answering your question.
Thank you. Ardell?
Yes, I have a question, and it's a two-part question. At what age should we try to cast the net on our youth to be able to help them mature so that this problem starts to go away. You know, it didn't happen overnight. So my question is, how young do we go back to start working with the youth to be able to make this happen? The second part of the question is that it's statistics that we're showing that the homeless population of youth coming out of foster home are creating a major dilemma here. They're terming out, there's no more money available, and then they get the boot and they become part of our homeless. What's the solution, and how do we cast this net and put a safety net around this program? I know you guys write treatment plans, but if you were to write a treatment plan for us to implement, what would you come up with?
You taking that, Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, and we understand, Mr. Ardell, that resources are very limited, right? And we have to go, and just to answer the first part, I believe that we should be self-monitoring our children at an early age, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, right? Otherwise, the school systems take over. So we should always be, the caretakers, the protectors, the parents in that role. So our roles, goals, and relationships start early, right? So you're a parent for life. You should be there. You should be, willing to. And when young children see this, that acclimates them, to be a better person, to think better, to feel better. Otherwise, the schools take over. The neighborhoods. They start to see different things. Of course, adolescence is very key, where we should be monitoring and looking at maladaptive behavior. Just normalities, what's different, what's going on, right? So, but going back to those conversations, why are we too busy to spend time with our children, to have conversations? How do you feel? What's going on? The conversations of goals and reiterating those and putting the whiteboards up and, daily, and, how is school going, right? So we want to make sure that we are implementing, our lives with their lives and collaboratively as well, too. The resources is a big issue, a very big issue. I believe in common mental health, so I believe that all should be able to, have the option and the resource to gain professional mental health resources, no matter where you are in the States. I think that's where we need to be. And the opportunity for that is not there, and the homeless factor is a big issue, especially with foster care. As you said, once the money's gone, they reach that 18 and a half, 19, they're released. It's like, oh, here you go, and hit the streets, right? Take your Uber, take your taxi if you can afford it, and find somewhere to go. And normally they're just going a couple miles out and they try to make things work. I really think that organizations should be able to open the doors more and reach out. I think it's us with the NAACP, the organizations, and the monitoring organizations should be reaching out. Doors should be open. And I know churches are doing their best and homes are doing their best, but what else can we do, right? To kind of put forth the effort forthwith to say, hey, I need to care for you just as you are my child, because you're a part of my community, right? So and I think going back to the mindset is very key. The growth mindset and gratitude mindset. And if you will be on the spiritual higher power level, the God mindset, right? So looking at those three mindsets, I think when we drill down to those, it's helping us say, when I do become this good Samaritan and hand this dollar over to someone and have a conversation with this individual, how can I get you some resources or guide you, right? So I think the information that we do have, I believe that shared knowledge is better than just the knowledge that we hold inside. So I think that we need to share that, and we need to, increase the value that we have for people, the presence of people, and why we love. We have to love life to live life, and everybody is a part of that. So we're breathing to make a difference. To believe that, I think we need to set our own goals to help out where we can, right? So even if it's our own block, our own neighborhoods, I think whatever we can do, I think those are the conversations that should be on everybody's agenda, at least monthly. How have we helped the homeless community this month? Hold ourselves accountable of what we're doing. sometimes we talk about it, but we're not doing it, right? So we might individually be doing something, but what are we doing as an organization? Not specifically NAACP, but holding other organizations accountable as well too, right? So when we look at the homeless factor as well, look how much food and waste we have. So we need to look at the other, the balance, what's balancing that, right? The money that's being wasted. As gas goes up and this goes up, the wars out there, we're dealing with mass shootings, we're dealing with the COVID, we're dealing with the shut-ins, the avoidance. We still have to make sure that our sons and daughters are graduating, right? So we still have our own life issues. Then we sit on boards that we volunteer for. And then, we're, making sure we're available for somebody else. So I think that we need to move forward with, open our doors more and seeing where we can do that on an extension. Hope that brings a little clarification, a little information.
Thank you.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, during this whole discussion, I don't think we mentioned COVID one time, and that's a huge stressor as well, for everybody. So that's just adding to the stress that everyone is dealing with. You don't want to get sick, and certainly want to be hospitalized, and some people have medical problems too, as far as they don't have good medical care. So it is a problem. But just to kind of work it backwards, this whole thought process, I think a lot of it starts with us being educated to vote, because we do need to tax the rich, the super rich especially, because they make so much money and they control such greater wealth of America, but they don't pay into America. They're not taxed. They can write it off, or they can philanthropy do wherever they want to, but a lot of times it's not for the causes that we want. So I think it's very important to get leadership in, to get people to realize how powerful their vote is, and to vote in good leadership, because the things we're talking about is going to take money. And so that is some of the money that we could use to help the homeless, help the unhoused, the youth that are coming out of the foster care system, that they don't just be thrown out because they timed out, but have a transition for them where they can transition, have a transition period, going to some kind of home situation where when they're going to school, learning a trade, and give them a period of time to learn. Everybody's not college bound, but they at least start learning some trades, wood trades, metal trades, and other trades that can earn them a living. I think that's very important. And then when I look at also, someone was talking about, what Lynn was talking about, students she talked to all the time. We do need a social aspect to our policing too. I don't say defund the police, but we need to add that aspect when there are mental cases going on. They don't come out with violence all the time, that they have some professionals like yourself that can come out and try to mitigate situations like that, where these people don't end up dead, because they're having mental problems. But the same kind of situation, I think that there should be an intermediary of social and psychology in our school system too, where kids are, when they're having those kind of problems, that they don't be labeled, but be able to go freely to a social help person or a psychologist, and be able to let them know they're having problems with bullying. And we should have something through the county or state where high school kids are through the school system, and maybe they should be combined, where they can go there and say, hey, look, these people want me to join a gang, and I don't, I want to go to school and learn and get home safe, and be able to, identify who these bullies are, and then have someone professional, go in and talk to these bullies to keep them out of trouble for one thing, and then to leave people in the neighborhoods alone. So I think somehow on the city and state and county level, along, including school systems have to be included in this. They need to have some kind of way that people they can go to say, these things are stressing me, danger in my neighborhood, reason why I have to carry a gun, because, I may have to shoot somebody that's trying to say they'll kill me if I don't join a gang, or push drugs for them, or things like that. And I know these things are real, but certainly there have to be some kind of intermediary that's established that will go in for them and resolve these situations. So it takes money to do that, but I think we have the money. It's just that the money's not getting down to the people that need it most, especially in the brown and black and poor neighborhoods. So that's my thought.
Thank you. Chris put something in the chat. Chris, can you elaborate?
Yeah, while Larry was talking, I took the time to look it up, and the because you mentioned that we need to tax the rich for all, to fund all these programs, and the top 1% of income earners in this country pay about a quarter of the taxes. So I don't think it's a fair statement to say that they're not paying enough. But beyond that, I think we'd be better off dedicating the money that we do have control over, in the sense of like putting our money where our mouth is, and contributing to those things ourselves, as opposed to trying to seize money that doesn't necessarily belong to us, and it's an uphill battle to even get, because it's not our money to spend, so to say.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And then I wanted to comment on your comment, Lynn, when you talked about the youth and what Thomas was talking about, and my thought was, the kids that you're talking about, they're living in a hyper vigilant state all the time. And it's just what Thomas talked about, the survival mode. And if you're constantly in that state, how can you be normal? We're talking about our own children who are just trying to survive every day. And like Larry said, COVID and everything, just our everyday struggles by themselves. Then you add everything else on top of that. Then you add, I'm being pushed into a gang or whatever it is. So even with that by itself, that kid probably doesn't even know what their lifespan is going to be because of all of that. And so getting them exposed and having mentorship and letting them see different things that hopefully would help them. Would it stop the hypervigilance? Not until you guys mentioned it, until we get someone in leadership voting, getting people in that can look at us and can help us, because if we don't vote, we're never going to get anywhere. That's where it happens at. Stacy, your hand.
Yeah, I like what Chris said about the monies, and sometimes I think don't know what's right or wrong, but I feel like if those or people that are successful, I kind of like to know like how many organizations have reached out to philanthropists or those that with the money, because they always have organizations that they help. Once you find out what their passion is, I'm not really for let's go after the rich and penalize them because they made it per se, right? No, but I am thinking that if we think out the box and we think differently, then those that are rich, how do we contact them and let them know what we are doing and how we need help to come together, because we are, targeting this in our communities because the disenfranchised situations of the communities, and the problems that we would need their help on, because you can research. It's just like trying to get a job. You need to look at that organization and research and see what they're about. And that's a lot of things we don't, we weren't brought up in as far as volunteering. I kind of look at the different cultures, like the white culture, they grew, their children they already, like Thomas said, that a child, Ardell, can hear you in the womb. You can read to them and start nurturing them from the womb. But when the white culture does things, they have their children already groomed for success, right? And they also have them with counselors or mental health. Almost every professional that I know, they're like, oh, yeah, we can have this meeting, but yes, I have a meeting at such and such a time with my therapist. So that's norm for them and not normal for us, because that's not what we grew up thinking. We thought we had to handle, we got to be the strong Black woman, strong Black man, right? And we're doing exactly what Daphne said. We are shortening our lives with stress and anxiety and all of those things. So I just wanted to say we have to think different. We have to think out the box. We have to re-examine, reimagine what we're doing so that it is effective. I always say we don't need not one other program. We need to just take the programs, as Thomas said, to take what we have and make them work.
That was good. Larry, is your hand up again? Larry? We're not hearing you.
I kept unmuting while other people are talking. I'm sorry. Yeah, just for clarity, there's great wealth in America, the wealthiest nation in the world. And so 3 people, Warren Buffett, the guy that runs Amazon, and the guy that started Microsoft, they have half the wealth of half the people in America. And that's just 3 people. Then we take the 5%, and they own almost another 60 to 65% of the wealth in America. It's poor people that are paying for just about everything. And so, it could be disputed. I'm just saying there's a great amount of wealth and they're not being taxed. So that is some money that we should be able to get our hands on if we get the right leadership in. If not, maybe we have to ask them, maybe to donate some money to us, to organizations they're trying to keep violence down and trying to keep mental health, keep people healthy mentally. So anyway, I just wanted to add that in, because I don't want us to be under any illusion that there's not a lot of money. It's just that we're not seeing enough of it. That's all I have to say.
Chris put in the chat about the police have a lot of work to do to build trust with us. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I can clarify that. I was saying that, well, actually, I was going to respond to what Larry said and just say, like, if not us, then who? I mean, like, it's not, Warren Buffett doesn't live in Meadowview, so he's not particularly invested, in what's going on there. Like, so we gotta be the ones to take ownership of it, and that means like we got to take the lead when other people aren't willing to. But aside from that, I was just saying that we got to be able to work, because you mentioned hypervigilance. Someone mentioned that earlier. And I was like, we got to be able to work with the police to remove violent elements from our own communities. Like, we're never going to get anywhere about people feeling safe unless we can point to, the people who are preying on our youth and say, hey, that guy's committing crimes here. He's making our neighborhood worse. And, and work with the police to get that guy off the street. And so the rest of us can feel safe, because they're never going to want to put down the guns voluntarily until they can feel like they can walk the streets, without being pressured into selling drugs or selling their bodies or whatever it is that, they're being tasked with by career criminals.
Yes.
Yes, true. And, all this to me, it all circles back to mental health. Everything you guys are talking about all circles back to mental health, because if you think about it, if there's a time when you were stressed out, couldn't do whatever, you were not in a good position to make good decisions, and so when people are coming to us, just on a daily stressful thing, not even about the COVID, when COVID hit, mental health, I mean, therapists, we can't even keep up with trying to help people. We're turning people away because we have our own mental health to worry about too. So my point being is, when we look at all these different things, everything you guys mentioned, and a lot of things you guys mentioned, we started here just with the Buffalo shooting. You guys went all into just everyday living, just the life of a person who is non-white, basically, and the stress of what that causes, So you're living in that type of world all the time. And like Stacy said, but we're not getting the help. And Stacy also said, mental health is a thing in the white community. You know, they said they start sending their kids at 6 years old to mental health people, you know, and we don't have that. We don't do that, you know. And so, but the other thing is, you know why? When our children have mental health, we're labeled as defiant and don't obey. And then they get pushed away to the side. Nobody wants to deal with them, you know. But when you get into another school, you know, that's white, they're like, oh, well, let me, you know, sit down and work with them, or they're just this, or they're just that. Let's, you know, get them the help that they need. We don't have that. And all I'm saying is we need to do more of that, like you guys said, within our own. You know, we have Black mental health therapists, and we're getting more and more. And in fact, when I get them now, they say, we've been looking for you because I need a Black person to understand my struggle. I don't have to explain my struggle, you know? And so this is why we brought this conversation here, because we don't have this enough. We saw the shooting, we felt bad about it, and then we went on with our lives. And we carried that. And that's what we're not going to do. We need to have these conversations and say, you know what? I'm pissed. I'm pissed that it happened. I'm angry, because that's an emotion you get to have, and you have a right to have that. But it's just how we do it. So I appreciate the conversation that everyone has said today. Anyone have any other comments or thoughts? Thomas, any last words? Stacy has her
No.
hand. I'm gonna let Stacy go. Then Thomas, you always have
Okay.
words.
Because no one had lifted their hands, I just want to say to Daphne and Thomas, this has been great and wonderful, and thank you for the conversation that needed to be had. And so hopefully it's not just a conversation, but it's the beginning of something bigger. This thing is bigger than us, but it takes us to resolve it. And God is allowing us to be at the forefront of what He will do through us and is doing. So I love it. Thank you.
Ardell?
Yes, again, I don't thank you guys for coming, but, you know, I just try to think about it. You know, I taught special ed for 15 years, and a lot of the times when we were working with the parents, we were trying to reach the parents through the students. And I would always, not always, but have the opportunity to work with the parents because the kids invited me into the house. Normally, when I try to work with an adult or a parent without, they don't know who you are or whatever the case may be, they kind of shut you down. And, you know, we would clean the kids up Monday through Friday. You know, on Friday, they would go home and they were just as normal as they could be. I sent them home on the weekend and they come back nutty as a bed bug. I mean, it's just, they're all out of control. So it takes all these days to bring them back to baseline where we can start working with them. You know, I had said that I was done with the youth because, you know, I put in my time, but now with everything that's going on, we're almost having to reevaluate, you know, what we were going to do in our golden years, or as time went on, what you were going to do, because it's such a crisis. And it's sad to see the youth just out of control. And I think a lot of it stems from the parent, because if their self-esteem is so low and they really don't, you know, have pride of anything, then it trickles down. So we got a vicious cycle here that we're trying to deal with. Mental health is an absolute, and people don't realize it, you know. And in our community, they're just starting to acknowledge, because back in the day when we were coming up, that was hush hush. You know, what happens in your house, or anybody that's crazy or not feeling well, you know, you just kept it in the house. But now everybody's talking about, you know, mental health, and it's a reality. So I'm just trying to figure out, you know, I'm doing what I can. I'm with the NAACP and anybody else that will listen on how to solve some of the problems, because without the being able to help the parents. You know, it's hard to help the children. If we fix the children and the parents are still messed up, and we send them back into that environment, and then we got that vicious cycle again. So I agree that we most definitely need to figure out something that's going to work for brown and Black people, because it's a different formula for other people. We see things and we recognize things quicker because, hey, this is what's going on. You know, they can't BS you. They come in there and they all, man, everything is cool and this, that, and the other. You know, hey, let's get down to real talk. So there's more need for Black therapists, Black, that can communicate. But it's just, we got to come to some kind of meeting of the mind on how to get into the houses to help the parents. Because if they are still off the chain, the kids going to continue to be off because they're going to mimic what they see. So we're really dependent on you guys to come up with some answers. Say, hey, listen, let's come here. We got this program, or how can we house them? I have people come to me and say, well, let's put together a boarding school. And I say to myself, you think about it, parents the rich people send their kids to boarding school. And to me, it's like a foster home. You pay to send your kids to a boarding home. And you pay to go to foster care. Somebody else is taking care, but then you got the other kids that are put into foster care because it's just a system. And when it's all said and done, at 18, the parents come back and rescue their kids most of the time. At 18, with the foster kids, they get the boot. So, whenever you guys need something or anything that we can do or I can do to engage counseling or talking to the youth or trying to work with the parents on dealing with their situation, their housing situation, or they're getting kicked out or foreclosed. You know what I'm saying? I'm available to try to help put that net together. So that's my story pretty much. I'm gonna stick to it.
Thank you. Larry, can you put your on mute because you're moving around and it's great. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Ardell, for that. Thomas, any final words before we go?
Yeah, just final words. I always like to leave a psychoeducational piece. So thank you all for having me today. Hope this is not the last time. Hope we all benefited from each other having some conversation on some mental health issues and the greater good and the greater life that we should continue to live. So, but the psychoeducational piece I wanted to share with you guys is what's called the cognitive triangle. And what the cognitive triangle is that there's a situation that happens, and then through that situation, there are three main components. There are our thoughts, our emotions, and behaviors. And most of the time, we can kind of use this modality towards any issue. We have to understand our own thoughts, our own emotions, and identify what type of behavior, whether it be maladaptive, positive, neutral, calm, ground, or neutral in that sense. So it's very foundational, but utilizing that information with someone we're trying to help, assist, or guide to resources, even ourselves, right? So we're all trying to get to self-love, self-compassion as well, to feel good, to feel greater each and every day, but be able to reflect on our own lives to help others as well too. So I hope we do continue to do great work and move forward with all our collaborative efforts. I left my information in the chat. And of course, I do work with Miss Daphne at her practice. So you can always reach out to her. She can get in contact with me as well. She knows that I'm always open to every opportunity. So if the opportunity exists and I'm available, I surely will be there. I can have one-on-one conversations as well. And I do look forward to connecting with you all too as well. So be well and be healthy, and you guys take care. Thank you again.
Thank you. And thank you guys for everybody's efforts in having this conversation, because I just don't think we have them enough, and we need to. I think even out of this was a collaborative effort where we know that things can be done, and we can target some things and do something. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate the time. Ardell, back over to you.
Okay. All right, Stacy. Well, again, I thank everybody for coming and joining us this Saturday, and hopefully we'll continue to be able to do this great work. I'm going to officially call the meeting at 11:49. You guys have a good day and take care of yourself and others.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.